The PlayStation 5 is arguably the most advanced gaming console to date. It can run 4K, has an 8-core AMD CPU drive, nearly a terabyte of internal storage, and best of all, it has 16 gigabytes of memory. That's about as much as a premium gaming PC. However, unlike a premium gaming PC, the PlayStation 5 has zero games. Okay, well, not zero games, but it's pretty close to zero compared to other past gaming consoles, including its predecessor. It's incredibly bizarre how such an advanced console has such a barren field of games. Like, imagine spending years of your life to make this only to find such a low quantity of games to be available for it. There's pretty much no incentive to buy it unless you're a diehard Sony fan. Like, it took 3 years for a game to come out on the PlayStation 5 that most people were excited for. That game, of course, being Spider-Man 2. Now, I love the first game, but there's no way I'm spending, $600 on a console to play one game. And the same is true for probably a lot of people. It's just incredible, how little exclusives are being found with the PlayStation 5, considering the PS4 thrived off of its exclusives. One console later, and Sony has found themselves back in the PS3 era, with a much more advanced console that should not be having this issue. It's really not a good sign when, apart from Spider-Man 2 and the Miles Morales DLC, the only other game I've heard boasted by the PS5 is the second remaster of The Last of Us Part 1. That's right, the second one. There have been 3 versions of the first Last of Us released, which honestly is a bit of a tangent. But the main reason this is relevant here is that this is more known than most other games you can find on the PS5. Why is a remake of a remake getting more attention than other games? Okay, I'm calm now. It's honestly super concerning and just bizarre how we're now almost 4 years removed from the launch of the PS5, a really advanced console with impressive specs that had so much promise, and yet somehow we're overseeing a giant drought. There should not be such little volume regarding the games that it has. I mean, think of the early 2000s. Would the Nintendo DS have become the success it ended up being if it didn't have that many games? Would the original NES or the first PlayStation or Xbox have had the same success with this little volume of games? And for the record, there was a time when having a low volume of games was a death sentence to a console. The Sega 32X was the first example of that, but honestly, look again at the PS3 or the Xbox One, which flopped for this very reason. Almost a decade following the Xbox One and the joke it became because of its lack of exclusives, we're pretty much now operating with 2 useless advanced electronic bricks. Good job, gaming industry. And don't even get me started on this bullshit